Gurudev embodied that love and affection so perfectly.
It is true.
He taught me how to treat people with love and affection. So, like when we were in San Diego and we were staying at a Franciscan monastery, and Gurudev wanted to go for a morning walk, and I got to walking behind him, and there was a monk who was bowing down in the grass, and he was doing some gardening, and he was in his robes, and he saw Gurudev coming, and he came up and he stood before Gurudev and he said, "I can see you're a holy master. Please tell me what I should do with my life." And I was standing behind Gurudev, and as I was walking behind, I felt better than walking behind Jesus. That's the only way I could describe what that felt like. And Gurudev looks at the monk very gravely and he says, "Become like Jesus." And then he blessed him like this. And I saw in that moment how Gurudev moved through this world so peacefully and so elegantly, without jarring anyone, without needing anyone to convert to his way of thinking. All he wanted to do was give grace. And he inspired all of us. He told all of us, become the living example of perfection within your own religion. So if you're a Christian, become like Jesus, live like Jesus, think like Jesus, pray like Jesus, worship like Jesus. If you're going to be a Vaishnava, then pray like Gurudev, sing like Param Gurudev, write like Bhaktivedanta Thakur, sing like Narottam Das Thakur, sing your kirtan as if you're dancing with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and enter into your eternal reality within their worlds. This is what we are here for. This is what this mind is meant for. This is what this life is meant for. This is what Gurudev came to give. This is the same message of Srila Prabhupada. It's the same message of all of our Vaishnavacharyas, and it is the same message of every saint, pure saint from every religion around the world, that divine love and the kingdom and crying for God are all we should be focused upon. And anything that's not that is a lie. And the only person delaying our progress into that reality is us. And it's our lack of consciousness and our lack of willingness to be conscious during prayer time, during Japamala, during what we're doing. That's how we receive the grace of Srila Gurudev. Gurudev used to say that when we suffer at the hands of others, when people are mean to us, when they hurt us with their words, when they leave us, they break us, they rape us, they murder us, whatever it is that is happening to each of us is happening by our own left hand punching us. Gurudev used to say, you should see all suffering with your own left hand punching us. So through this one teaching, I was able to give up a lifetime of suffering, a lifetime of anger and hurt and frustration. I gave it up in one moment, because when you understand that all suffering came from your own karmic wheel, then there is no blame. There's nobody to blame for what you've gone through. What happened to you was meant to happen because you are supposed to receive a certain amount of suffering because of the certain amount of suffering that you have caused either in this life or previous lives. And this karma is causing us to constantly be punched in the face. So eventually an intelligent person just says, enough. I will no longer take this punishment from my stupid mind, and I will place my mind where it belongs, which is at Gurudev's feet and at the lotus feet of Sri Sri Radha Govinda. And I will place my heart, my soul, my mind, my body, my everything, my awareness, all of my life is dedicated to this. And that experience is the goal for all of us. So when we have to transcend this left hand punching us, it's very difficult. So how do we do this? We can go to therapists. Can the therapist really help us to alleviate the burden of our sufferings? Absolutely, to some degree, they can cut some of the ties and help you cope. But the roots of your pain cannot be dissolved by anything except bhakti. And bhakti does it as a side effect. When you're touched by bhakti, all of these sins and weaknesses and addictions and illusions, they melt away in the waves of Sri Radhe's grace. It's not forced, it's natural. So this process should not be underestimated. I could never afford any therapy. I should have probably had some, and I probably needed it because of my traumas, my dramas, my karma. But at the end of the day, every one of those wounds has given me a great directive and inspiration to transcend suffering. Gurudeva said, I have no friends in this world. And so he wrote to me that you can help devotees who are less than you, who know less than you, who don't yet know things. You make friends with people who are your equal, and you take association and guidance from those who know more than you and who have gone deeper than you. So how do we distinguish who is who and what is what, especially if we don't want to have a judgmental, critical mind? So how we distinguish is, it's not a judgment thing, it's discernment. That we know where we're at. We have to be honest with ourselves. We know where we're actually at on the ladder of bhakti. Where we want to be is here, where we are is here. Now, yes, there's a gradation and there are things down here that we've left behind. So it's our duty to reach back from where we are and pull people up to at least the level that we have attained. And this should be given freely unto all. We should not be greedy or miserly with it. We should give it freely unto all. And there should be no money involved. It should not be about anything to do with the ego. It should not be about how many followers we have, or what positions we have, or what titles we have, or what we're wearing. These things are utterly superficial to bhakti. So they must be given up. These judgments have to be dropped. For the golden age to truly blossom in the hearts of all people around the world, the only way Mahaprabhu's movement is going to spread all around the world and fulfill all the prophecies is if every wall that has divided us falls to the ground in the name of divine love. And that can only happen when we embody kindness and compassion and understanding and see with the broader vision that people like Gurudeva embodied. And we saw that he would tell a Franciscan monk, become like Jesus. He didn't say, follow me, become my disciple. In one moment, he gave exactly what he needed to follow the path. There you have it. Follow your path, be authentic to yourself. Follow your path. Bhakti has nothing to do with the externals. We need to close our eyes to every illusion about ourselves and every illusion about others. We have to let go of all of it. And when we hurt others with our words and our thoughts and our criticisms, we hurt ourselves.
Sent a very lovely picture with Srila Gurudev.
Can you see what's in my ears? And look at my ears.
Where is that photo from?
San Diego. That was when we were staying at the Franciscan monastery in San Diego. Once again, I had ear infections. So all of the movies I had watched between now and then was coming out of my ears, and any Maya that had gone into my ears. See, I have the little cotton
Oh,
balls.
yes. I thought that's a earring.
No.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Yes, you have that cotton in your ears.
Yes, cotton in my ears. So sweet. What a moment in time. The most beautiful moment of my life, sitting before my Holy Master. And now that I think about it, there's so much that I would like to have done for him and said to him and expressed to him and shown to him and asked him that I didn't, because I was so afraid and I felt so unqualified. And I regret not having said many things, but I did get to express these things in letter form. And so this is why I wrote so many letters to Gurudev. And Gurudev was very kind. He always replied. He always sent these super sweet letters back to me. I'm just like utterly amazed. They're just, and every one of them is just so filled with nectar. And I'm so grateful. And they're so sweet. Every one of them is so personal. And I feel like now that I'm rereading them, I'm rehearing them, and I'm hearing them now as my 55-year-old self, not as my 23-year-old self. So, you know, it's a completely different way of listening now to these teachings and these wise words of my Gurudev. When we were in Badger, we took a very long walk through the Sequoia National Forest. This was in 1996. It was his first time ever coming to Badger. He wanted to go and see the trees that had been standing for 5,000 years. So he's very grave and he's chanting Harinam, and a group of us were following him through the forest, following along the path around the trees. We came to a fallen, hollowed out tree, a very, very, very large tree that you could literally walk through. And Gurudev said, "Come with me, we're entering into the mouth of Aghasura." And so we followed him through this hollowed out tree, like skipping like children and singing holy name. We came out the other side and Gurudev was grave again. We went back to the car, the van, because I would always like to stand right where Gurudev was. I always liked to be as close to him as I possibly could, because those saffron rays were very addictive and very powerful. So I wanted to be as close to him as I could. So he went back to the car park and I had followed him. I was right there, and there was nobody there. I think maybe one other person, and a Sikh man was there. He had come there for a walk, and Gurudev was talking to him, greeting him, giving him blessings. And then Gurudev said, "These trees have been standing for 5,000 years since the time of Lord Krishna, and now I have liberated all of them." So again, this was another of these experiences where I got to witness firsthand the magnanimous vision of a pure devotee descending into this world. They don't think anything of themselves. They are always thinking, how can I help the environment? Who is here? What is here? The animals, the birds, everything in creation, all of these souls, limitless souls in so many different difficult situations, that Gurudev would see all of it at every moment through his millions of eyes. Every pore of his body was like an eye. He has all of the grace of God within him, the creative power within him to see everything and everyone, and the truth of all living beings. So to have sat before such a holy master and to be loved by someone from that world is so overwhelming and so humbling.
Should all be happy. My heart is blessings to you. You should a strong belief that I will never give up you. So you should think that I am always with you.
I think it's very hard to maintain one's ego when one dives into these mysteries. And I think that's the barometer for us, is that when we see someone who's been touched like this, by Srila Gurudev or is like Gurudev, that their love and sweetness and affection will be profound. And it doesn't have to look in any particular way. Bhakti is like a crooked flowing river. It goes where it goes. And people have tried to box it in and control it and say it's this way or it's that way. It's only with these people, it's only with those people. When in fact, none of these things are real. And those are the illusions that we've all subscribed to. We were all told to believe in these illusions by our parents, by our churches, by our teachers, by our temples, by our gurus, by our friends. Everybody tells us what we should be thinking and what we should be believing. But in reality, it's all a lot of nothing. There's nothing here that's worth tasting, and that's the truth. I've tasted it all. I've tasted everything. There's nothing I haven't tasted in this world. And so I speak from personal experience. I've overcome the impossible, and it happened in a moment. It was one moment, that's all it took. So that one moment is always readily available to all of us. Your love for God, and express it to him in poetry. Just sing it to him. Tell the Lord how you feel. Cry to him with your voice. And that yearning will be very natural, and those tears will be very natural, and the Lord just can't resist where love is being presented. He can't resist it. He's just so sweet. But more than this, Sri Radhe is even more supremely sweet. A mother can never reject a child, so that mercy can never be blocked with our mother. So if we reach to her like innocent children, the innocent children that we are before her, we can pray, oh my dear Sri Radhe, even though I am so unqualified, and even though there are so many millions of faults within me and within all of us, that by your grace, that we might be made whole again in perfection, in memory of how we were created out of your perfection. And may that moment where we may see you with our divine eyes come very quickly to all of us, because it's very painful to be separated from such beauty. And we are all wanting and yearning to see you with our eyes. So please deliver us from the evil that we have subscribed to, the misunderstanding of the ego. It was an innocent mistake, but it must now be given up so that we can truly start to enter into the mysteries that Gurudev and our Guru Parampara so carefully planted into the world. It's been super fun sharing these stories, and I'm sure I rambled an awful lot. I do tend to do that.
Very much worth it. I'm so grateful to my Gurudev that on his disappearance day, which is approaching in 2 days, he has presented me with such beautiful disciple of hers. Of him, I did not know anything. I did not know who she is, where she lives, what she does. Out of the blue, he has popped her up, and she has come here and spoken for 3 hours, her heart out. And very, very honestly, she has spoken without being any duplicitous. As you can see from her talks, that from the very beginning, she was never duplicitous. I think when the Gurudev was cutting her bands in her hand, I was sitting there in that place. When there was a commotion on the roof, I was there in that mud in 1995, December. And I was part of that commotion that people were talking so much about it. Some girl has come from somewhere.
I loved hearing that. Oh.
So we just saw how the mercy of a girl who is involved, who is having drugs, who's addicted to marijuana, everybody is talking bad about her. How Gurudev can cut her bands in her hands of these worldly connections. And look at her, how poetic way she has described all the things. I have written here 2 full pages probably what she's spoken. And if we hear it carefully, it can change our lives. I wanted something like Prabhupada, no one else. So this is the conviction we should have. We always compromise on what we want. We do not want the real thing actually. So we don't get the real thing. We're just looking for makeshift arrangements. So it is what you want, you'll get it. So the very first thing she started today is I wanted something like Prabhupada or no one else. This is the firm conviction we must have. And she got someone like Prabhupada and no one else, because that's what she wanted. God is very merciful. He gives us what we want, but because we want stupid things, that's why we keep getting punches from a left hand, what she described. Beautifully she described how she prayed to Srila Prabhupada's Samadhi. Now this is also we must understand. She has deep realization and she has spoken about it so openly. How Samadhis have these maiden from Krishna's world are there all the time to give us mercy. So if we ever want anything, we should go to Samadhi and fall there and ask and pray, like what she had prayed. And she prayed. Last moment, the help came.
And even if you've never seen these Samadhis, with your mind you can imagine where they are. Think of Sri Rupa, think of Sri Raghunath, think of these personalities. They are real, they are activated. They are waiting to bless you. And the minute you think of them in their Samadhi, boom, you're connected.
So Didi is talking out of her realizations. It is not mere words spoken from a book or by hearing somebody. This is a realization of a bhakt, of a devotee who has seen it all. What we are craving to see in this world, what you're dying to see, what you're dying to earn, where we're investing our lives, she has seen it all. She said, there is nothing here that is worth tasting. I have tasted it all. This is not from a book she's reading. This is from the life which she's experienced and she's telling. We are trying to taste the same thing again and again. It is how foolish we are that we are trying to taste. And here we have a person who is telling us, I have tasted it all, there is nothing in it. That nothing as tasty as what Gurudeva has given her. As the honey what she's tasting now, as the deep realization she's having now, as the river in which she's flowing now, in the ocean she's drowning. So this is what she has now for us. And she has given some of it, not all. She has got much more. There is no end to this jewels which you have in your heart, who has come in touch with Gurudev. Only a very small thing we can see today, what she has spoken. When she prayed at the Samadhi, the help came. And she was taken to Gurudev straight away, directly. No, nothing in between. So look how the prayer was answered. And then when she went there at the door only, she felt that I have come to the right place. At the door, imagine, Gurudev is somewhere far. And look at his energy radiating. And look at the disciple who is ready to receive. Not everybody feels like this. I'm sorry. You may not feel like this because you do not have that craving in your heart. But if a disciple has craving, if a person has craving, he will feel the energy at the door itself. And she felt. And Gurudev, it's not that Guru is not feeling. He is also feeling somebody has come at my door. And he's ready to receive. It is both ways. It is not one way. It is love is both ways. It is reciprocated even more. That's why Krishna says, Ye yathamam prapadante tansthai bhajamyaham. As you come to me, I will come even more to you. But yeah, at least take a step. And you know what Gurudev said first? You, who are you? Where have you come from? He knows already. And he's saying, I have been waiting for you so long. You are. Then what the first thing he asked? Imagine, look at the Guru's power. He said, are you qualified? He already knows she's qualified because he's not looking at what she's smoking. He's not looking at how she's dressed up. He's looking at her heart's feeling and he knows for sure she's qualified. That's why he asked, are you qualified? And that's what she answered also. Yes, I'm qualified. Look at her answers. You are qualified because Laulyam, the greed is the only qualification in this path, not anything else. Laulyam api, what is the shloka? I forgot. Krishna bhakti rasa bhavita mati kriyatam yadi kutopi labhyate. Laulyam yapi mulyam ekalam. If you find Krishna bhakti anywhere, purchase it immediately. What is the cost to purchase it? Only Laulyam, nothing else. This will buy you that Krishna bhakti, only the greed to buy it. And you have the greed, so you are qualified. And Gurudev asked you the right question. And you had the right thought in your mind. But what will others understand? They will say you are not qualified because they see only outside. They will always see you are unqualified. But Gurudev knows how qualified you are. And the people who look qualified, Gurudev knows they are useless. He also knows them. But he is so merciful, he will still keep them with them close to the heart, because he also knows someday they will become qualified, maybe after many births. So nobody is unqualified for a guru like ours. Anybody who goes to him, in whatever state he goes to him, he will embrace him, provided we only go to him. Very nice statement. Entire spiritual family who is surrounding us with their mercy. Entire spiritual family surrounding, ready to be merciful on us. Look at the statement, how profound. Not only our Gurudev, all our Pracharya looking at us. When will this guy turn towards us? They are waiting for the day. But look at our foolishness. We have so much help available around us all the time because we are connected with this parampara.
Maya illusion is very powerful in this world. It can't be underestimated. But that's why when we cry out for mercy, the illusion is just squashed.
Very right. Maya is very powerful, but not powerful than Mayapati. That's why Krishna says in Gita, he says, Devi hi esha gunamai mam maya duratya. He announces to the world, Devi hi esha gunamai mam maya duratya. This Maya, it is my Maya. It is not anybody else. I have created, and it is very difficult to cross it. I understand. He says to Arjuna. But anybody who takes shelter to me, he will cross it very easily. How? He gives example in Bhagavatam. He will cross like we cross a footprint made by a cow, and how much water is there, how easy it is to cross it. We cross it like this if you surrender to Sri Guru and Bhagavan. So Maya is difficult, it is true, very true. And we are utter failures in crossing it. We must realize it. However hard we try, however force we put, we are going to fail. And when you surrender to the God or Guru, then we don't have to think about Maya at all. We don't have to put any force. We don't even have to try to cross it. We will, before we know, we have already crossed it. It's behind us. We'll see it. We'll see it. It is behind us already. The power of surrender is like that. So which you describe very nicely. If you believe that you belong here, that is your only qualification. Yes. If you believe that we are part of this parampara, it is a qualification. Nobody can stop us. We have right to go there. We have Gurudev like this. Who will stop us? How? Nobody. If we have faith in a Gurudev like she has, nobody can stop us. So, and then she said, climb out of this illusion of what we are not. We are in this illusion of what we are not all the time. Bhaktivedanta Thakur describes this very nicely in his poetry. We are believing what we are not. But look at that. From Maya Nagari, from land of sense gratification, we have a person sitting in front of us who is totally not touched by it. Which she said is very, very important. Very, very heart-touching. It touched my heart really very much. He said, he did it without my knowing. My heart in his pocket.
Gurudev, you are the ocean, you are the sound, and the light within my soul. I pray that I return a measure of the love that through your life flows. And there ain't no difference when you know and when you know. Gurudev, you are the ocean, you are the sound, and the light within my soul. You are the seed of my devotion. You are the blessing that makes my spirit whole. You are the living proof of freedom and the call to follow is clear. I can't tell you how much I love